If you've got some business in Rorikstead, you should start by speaking to Juan. Yes, that's right. Look around you. Most of the lands you see are mine. Most of this I purchased while my comrades were fighting in the south, helping the Empire against the Aldmeri Dominion. Back then, nothing would grow here, and so the land was worthless. Now, thanks to the hard work and the gods' blessings, our farms prosper. Aye, that I did. I commanded a force of several dozen men, most of them levies from villages in this part of the hold. I damn near met my end in that war. An old merry soldier ran me through with his blade, and left me for dead. A healer named Joanne saved my life. He's been my closest friend ever since. I tell you, that man is a miracle worker. Not yet, anyway, though it certainly could. With most of the Hold's fighting men committed to the war, there are fewer swords to keep the road safe from brigands and wild beasts. And of course, as the war drags on and supplies run low, our ample fields and stores of food will make a tempting target for desperate men. The best we can hope for is a swift end to the conflict. The longer the war goes on, the worse it will be for all of us, I'm afraid.
You look like you've seen your share of adventure. I envy you that. In fact, maybe you can help me with something. It's true. For as long as I can remember, our crops have always done well. I'm not sure whether it's the soil, climate, or the favor of the divines, but we've never had a poor harvest. Born and raised right here in Rorikstead. My father was a soldier. He fought in the Great War, and when it was over, he retired here to raise a family. My mother passed away when I was just a babe, so he did his best to raise me on his own. It's not the most exciting place in the world, but the people here work hard. They don't cause trouble for anyone. I want to be an adventurer like you. My father says I can't. He says he needs me to stay here and work the farm. And even if he did let me be an adventurer, we couldn't afford to buy armor. His name is Mralki, and he's the innkeeper here. I hope you could change his mind. Thank you. I can't stand the thought of being trapped in this village for the rest of my days.
Do yourself a favor and don't have children. They're good for nothing at all. All right, then.
You look ready to take on just about anything. Wish I could say the same for myself. You're looking very heroic today. Off to kill more bandits and monsters, I presume? Alright, team huddle! Oh yeah, that... I guess I should explain. I record the events that happen on the Dragonborn, your adventures, and keep everything in these files to make sure I get the story right. As for the talking, well, just think of it as me keeping mental notes. I don't think Skyrim features voice recorders, so you wouldn't understand. See you later, Horker hater. Nice one.
Anything I can pick up for you on my next trip into the city, Erik?
Thanks for the offer, Juan. I'm saving up for a new sword.
Yes? Indeed, you must. What do you wish to know? In certain situations, I am able to delve the strands of time and see what might come to pass. However, this would require an event of momentous occasion, for only when the fates of all rest upon the edge of the sharpest knife do the infinite, ever-shifting possibilities resolve themselves into a few concrete paths, which I am able to comprehend. Indeed, but I shall disclose this information not, for the journey is just as important as the ending. And indeed, I might undo the very weave of the world were I to tell you of the same, since one often changes their path were they to have foreknowledge of their own actions.
You keep on like
However,
you are.
I can tell tale of worlds beyond, as well as the far future, for both are veiled in the mists of time.
You know about raising children.
The winds of discord sow the seeds of redemption.
If you need a meal or room, I've got both. My son? Erik? What about him? Did something happen? Is he all right? But the world is a dangerous place. Erik has no idea what he's getting himself into. What's more, he's got no armor. I'll have to save up the money for it. Perhaps you should let a father decide what is best for his own son. You would give your own coin to help my son? I'm moved by your compassion. Your kind deed will not go unrewarded, my friend. Tell Erik I've changed my mind and will visit Whiterun soon to fit him for armor.
Did you have any luck talking to my father? I can't thank you enough, friend. I hope you'll come back to Rorikstead soon and pay me a visit. Maybe we can swap stories about our adventures over a mug of ale at the inn. Until next time.
Sweet rolls.
If you've come to Solitude to join the Legion, speak to Rika. If not, just keep your nose clean while you're here, or you'll end up like Rogvir.
They can't hurt Uncle Rogvir. Tell them he didn't do it.
Positions.
Sorry, you need to go home. Go home and stay there until your mother comes.
You betrayed us! Traitor!
Gone,
You should tell her that her uncle is
Clobber!
scum that betrayed his High King. Best she know now, Advar.
You're all hard, Vivian.
Rogvir, you helped Ulfric Stormcloak escape the city after he murdered High King Torrig. By opening that gate for Ulfric, you betrayed the people of Solitude.
He doesn't deserve to speak!
There was no murder. Ulfric challenged Torrig. He beat the High King in fair combat. Such is our way. Such is the ancient custom of Skyrim and all Nords.
Boo!
On this day, I go to Sovngarde.
Some gate guard you were!
Shocking that there's no milk option in the menu. What were all those cows for then, huh? Tipping?
Welcome to the Winking Skeever, friend.
Well, as it turns out, I had a pet skeever when I was a boy, and he used to wink.
They were smaller back then. Varnius Junius stopped by here on his way to court. He was worried about something. I'm sure Falk Firebeard could tell you what. Remember the Winking Skeever next time you're footsore.
Hello there. We haven't met, have we? I'm Fironet, although my friends call me Firo, or Netta for short. Although I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. We just met, so we're hardly friends. Not to mean that we won't be friends someday, or even today. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at this. Can we start over? Oh, well met as well. I mean, well met and greetings. What I'm trying to say is, greetings and well met. Oh, sweet taffy treats, I did it again, didn't I? Well, I was kind of hoping I could. I know, you're probably thinking I've gone mad the way I fumbled through our meeting. And, truth is, I'm perfectly happy just being Netta the Milkmaid. Well, my friends have all said that I have a great singing voice. I suppose they should, because that's what friends do. But after hearing it a number of times from different people, you start to think there might be something to it. So here I am. No, not yet. I talked to Viarmo, and he said that Pentia Atea would hear my audition when her schedule clears up. Oh, which is completely understandable. I imagine a Master Vocalist must have a very hectic schedule.
Let's ferret on. See if we can't find something even
I
more
bet you're right. I don't know about demanding it, but at the very least, I should put more pressure on Pantea to see me. I guess I'm just worried that if I annoy her enough, she'll deny my admittance before I even finish my warm-up. I know. I have a tendency to overthink things, too. Right now, my biggest fear is having my throat go hoarse the day Pantea calls my name. And I still haven't recovered from the bout of rust chancre. One of the bards from the college suggested chewing on Nirnroot, but I wasn't sure if he was serious. Heh, I suppose it would be quite irritating. I didn't plan on singing with it in my mouth, though. Just the lute. Can you imagine me on the drum? I can't. Well, the lute I have was my grandmother's. It turns out she was once a bard who studied at the college here in the city. My mother gave it to me before I left. She said she would have done it sooner, but she never realized I wanted to be a bard. I told her that made two of us. Yeah, I still feel rather clumsy with it. Sometimes I feel like it's lost all patience with my fingers. It's a cranky old thing and is quick to get out of tune. But when it's right, it can sing as beautifully as any other. You mean like sing? Right here? Okay. But my voice is a little hoarse from practicing. Is there anything in particular you want to hear? You mean like a song that I wrote? Oh, I'm not that talented. I mean, I've written a few lyrics and there's sort of a melody. How about I sing it, and you can give me some guidance as to whether it's good? Alright, here goes. Snow falls on all the land, all the land, all the land. Snow falls on all the land, shrouded by dark wings. A child prayed unto the gods, save the land, save the land.
Here we are in the capital city of Skyrim. Funny that it's all the way up quarters of the way.
And the god said unto the child, to Skyrim come spring. For a hero does walk the land, walk the land, walk the land. A hero does walk the land, and the dragons will flee. Flowers bloom on the land, children walk hand in hand. Sun shining on white sand, to Skyrim comes peace. Thanks. It does seem to feel more natural than some of the other songs the bards sing. Probably because I wrote it for myself. True. On the one hand, all this anxiety can't be good for my health. Or my skin. On the other hand, at least now I can still cling to hope. Well, I know hope's something you feed children mostly. You tell them to dream big because they can be whatever they want to be. But for them, it doesn't really mean anything. If they say they want to be a bard or a jarl, it's just another answer to a question. They might as well say they want to be an apple. Because it's real. I mean, look at this city. It's so large, so bright, and everything about it seems too impossible to exist. But it's not a dream. It's right there, in front of me. Isn't everybody? But if I had to say what frightens me, it isn't failing as a bard. I'm scared I'll wake up one morning, and there won't be any for vocal training. I'm worried one day I won't have a reason to borrow Gerard's books. I think about all the wonderful people I've met here, and I'm scared to say goodbye. I know. Eventually, it's going to get awkward. I mean, I've already been here for more than a season. Actually, it might be awkward already. Beyrand asked me the other day what it is I do here. Blacksmiths, you know how they are. Oh no, I came here on a ship from Laneland, near Iliac Bay in Hammerfell. I didn't come alone, though. My fiancé at the time came with me. He stuck it out here in Skyrim for a few months, but eventually boarded a ship headed back home. It's my fault, really. I knew he didn't want to come to Skyrim, and it was probably the guilt that made him follow me here. It's one of those things. If I loved him, I shouldn't have asked him to leave. If he loved me, he wouldn't have asked me to stay. So in the end, I guess neither of us loved each other. But we'd already invested so much time into the relationship, and so he sacrificed everything for me. Well, we didn't have a lot of gold, but my fiancé said he sold the farm so we could sail to Solitude. It was actually kind of romantic. But at some point on the way here, I caught a bad case of rust chancre. I got a rash on my arms and some swelling in my cheeks. But it was the damage to my throat that was the most depressing part. It took months before I could even speak. He got impatient. The truth was, he expected us to be back in Hammerfell before the crops were in season. I should have known he didn't sell the farm. The Bard's College was only an excuse. What I really wanted to do was travel and see the world. I wanted to be somewhere grand, a place where the castles touch the sky. But really, I just wanted to be somewhere different. Somewhere new. Until next time.
They call me Siri. Nice to meet you.
Let's say I go about my business, and when there's coin to be earned, I don't readily turn it down. You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Need something? Really? You're who she picked? I hope she knows what she's doing. Here's the deal. I can smuggle some equipment into the embassy for you. Don't plan on bringing anything else in with you. The Thalmor takes security very seriously. Give me what you can't live without, and I'll make sure to get it into the embassy. The rest is up to you. You're asking me? She promised that she was sending someone who knew what they were doing. If you actually want to get out alive,
I'd bring whatever you need to move quietly and kill quickly.
Have you given Malborn the gear you want to smuggle into the embassy? Good. I have your invitation to the party. But the only way you're going to get past the guards is if they really believe you're an invited guest. Which means you need to look the part and not be armed to the teeth. Here, put this on. When you're ready, I'll keep the rest of your gear safe until you get back. You'll only have what Malborn smuggled in for you, plus whatever you can pick up inside. I guess that will have to do. You should pass for a real guest, at least until you open your mouth. Ready to board the carriage to the embassy? Don't worry, it will all be waiting for you when you get back. Just make sure you get back out of there alive with the information we need. Good luck.